Are you tired of spending hours in the kitchen on Thanksgiving Day? I was too, girl, but not anymore. Hey lovelies, I'm Larissa J, and in today's video, we're talking about how to save time cooking your Thanksgiving dinner. Now, I've been doing this for the past couple years, and it allows me the freedom to rest, spend time with my family, and eat well on Thanksgiving Day. So I'm glad that you're here because I'm about to help you out and I'm going to put you on, sis. This right here is a game changer. So I wanted to do this video because I believe that these tips are so helpful. These are my best holiday cooking hacks. So let's get to it. So growing up, I remember my family beginning the cooking process on the night before Thanksgiving and then waking up early on Thanksgiving Day and cooking all throughout the day to finish the meal. We would eat, and while we were full and fighting the itis, we would have to get up and wash all of those dishes from all of that cooking we did earlier. Can anyone else relate? Let me know in the comments if you had to do that too. All right, so let me tell you what I do now. Leading up to Thanksgiving, I spend a little time here and there preparing all of my sides that end up making an amazing Thanksgiving dinner. And honestly, it feels like I hardly do any work. So here are my tips. Number one, prepare your desserts. Most of your desserts can be prepared in advance. For example, on my first day of preparation, which for me was late October, I made my homemade sweet potato pie. After I finished baking it, I let it cool. I wrapped it up in plastic wrap and aluminum foil, and it has been waiting for me in the freezer. It has been tempting me and calling my name, but I'm standing strong. Now, on the night before Thanksgiving, all I have to do is take it out of the freezer, pop it in the fridge to let it thaw overnight, and when we're done eating our Thanksgiving meal on Thanksgiving Day, all we have to do then is cut our slices, heat it up, and top it with whipped cream to enjoy. The great thing about freezing food is that depending on what you're making, it can last for about 3 to 6 months in your freezer. You can cook in advance and the food still tastes exactly the way that it's supposed to. Now here's a pro tip for your pie. Try to avoid putting your pie in the freezer along with frozen bananas or onions because you don't want your pie to taste like bananas and you definitely don't want your pie to taste like onions. I may or may not have done that before, which is why I'm telling you. Tip number two, chop all your veggies quickly. So I use my Fullstar veggie chopper, which I have mentioned in a previous video, but this thing saves me so much time in the kitchen. I simply chop the ends of my vegetables off. I cut them in half. Sometimes I cut them in fourths, and then I put them in the veggie chopper, and it gives me nice uniform dices in a matter of seconds. It is amazing, let me tell you. And of course, I use this even when it's not Thanksgiving. I use it on the day-to-day. I bought mine from Amazon, so I'm going to put a link in the description box just in case you want one as well. You're welcome. So after my veggies are chopped, I put them in a Ziploc bag and I place them in the fridge for a couple days until I'm ready to use them. So when I prepared my vegetables, I took just a few minutes to chop all of my vegetables and get them in the Ziploc bags. It did not take long at all. And it was so safe and easy that I was actually able to do it while nursing and wearing my 1-year-old in her Ergo Baby. Now, the Ergo Baby is another thing that I use that saves me time and allows me to multitask when I have my daughter with me, which is all the time. And it is another game changer. So in case you're interested in the Ergo Baby, I'm also going to leave a link in the description box for you to check it out. All right, tip number 3 is to cook all of your sides that freeze well. So think about your menu and think about all the different food items that will do well in the freezer if you cook them in advance. Think about things like macaroni and cheese, greens, sometimes mashed potatoes, depending on what you put in them. I've definitely frozen mashed potatoes before, green beans, dressing, or stuffing. All of these things can be prepared ahead of time, completely cooked, allow them to cool, and then you can prepare them for the freezer. This is what's going to save you loads of time on Thanksgiving Day. So for me personally, I prepare my collard greens, my macaroni and cheese, and my dressing in advance. Then I leave them in my freezer. This way, on Thanksgiving Day, all I have to do is heat and eat. Pro tip, if you're a busy mom like me, then you can take a few minutes to an hour each day that you choose to prepare one side instead of trying to do everything all at one time. So this year, I decided to do my collard greens on one day, and it only took a short amount of time because my vegetables were already pre-chopped. All I had to do was cook it. Then I cooked my mac and cheese on one day. Then I chose another day to allow my husband and my daughter contribute in helping me make the dressing. Tip number 4, plan to do only a little bit of things on the day before Thanksgiving. So I use the day before Thanksgiving to prepare all of the things that I do not want to freeze. For me personally, that's my turkey legs and my candied yam. Did you catch that? The day before Thanksgiving, I'm only preparing 2 things. That's easy work. And it's so easy that I might even do my gravy that day as well, depending on how I feel. Tip number 5 is to focus on rest and family on Thanksgiving Day. On the big celebratory day, I believe that should be a time to rest and enjoy the ones that you love. Try to do minimal work on this day. The goal here is just to heat and eat. Heat and eat. So for me on Thanksgiving, I usually just throw my croissants in the oven. It only takes a few minutes. And then all I have to do is heat up everything else. Pro tip, take all of your desserts and all of the sides that you've frozen and let them thaw in the fridge overnight. So you want to do this the night before Thanksgiving. Put everything in the fridge, allow it to thaw overnight so that on Thanksgiving Day, it's easier for you to heat it up. Now, me personally, I like to heat our food in the oven. I usually just lay out a baking sheet and put our sides on there and let them heat that way. But of course, you can heat it in whatever way works best for you. And tip number 6 is to save time on Christmas too. So you remember how I said that you can freeze food items for 3 to 6 months? Take advantage of this. You can save your leftover sides for Christmas too. And this is something that I like to do as well. What I usually do is make a double portion of my Thanksgiving sides, and then I will put half in Ziploc bags and put them away for Christmas time. I leave them in my deep freezer and they are good to go when Christmas rolls around. And they still taste fresh on Christmas. Game changer. I'm telling you, try it. Just try it. All right, well, these were my 6 tips on how to save time while cooking your Thanksgiving dinner. I hope that you found this video helpful. And let me know down in the comments, what do you think about this method of preparing your holiday meals? If you found this video helpful, be sure to like and share and drop a flame emoji down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.